Hi, my name's Matt Widgery from mattwidgery.com. In today's 2-minute top tip, we're going to be having a look at how to keep your shot steady when you're using a zoom lens without the thing doing that all over the place and making the shot blurry. So if you have a lens a bit like this one here, this is an 80 to 200, when it's zoomed all the way in and you look through the viewfinder, it's kind of a little bit like looking through the scope of a rifle at a target that's a long way away. It appears to be doing that. And of course that will translate into camera shake on your images, and they'll all look fuzzy. There is luckily a really quick and simple rule of thumb which allows you to keep the shot looking nice and crisp. And that is very basically that you set the minimum shutter speed that you're going to use on that shot to whatever the focal length is of your lens. So in the case of this, it's a 200mm lens, so you would set the minimum shutter speed for that shot at 200th of a second. Obviously you can go faster than that if you want. If it's a bright sunny day, or if you have a camera that has pretty good ISO capabilities, you can set the shutter speed higher than that, and you'll be even more guaranteed of getting a sharper shot. Now, the thing to also bear in mind with this is that if you are using a crop-censored body, like this Nikon D300, for example, which uses an APS-C size sensor, then there is a little bit of maths to do at the same time. Don't worry, it's not hard to do, and there are plenty of places you can look this stuff up if you don't want to do it in your head. But basically, with the Nikons like this, there is a crop factor of 1.5. That means that the stuff that looks, if you put this 80 to 200, for example, at 200 millimeters, if you put that on an old film camera, which is 35 millimeter film, you'll get 200 millimeters. With an APS-C size sensor, you get 300 millimeters. The crop factor is 1.5. So get your 200 millimeters, times it by 1.5. That's what the real focal length that you're going to be using on your crop censored body is going to be. And that is what you need to set as your minimum shutter speed, not what it actually says on the lens. And that will apply to most entry-level DSLRs. It will apply to quite a lot of sort of mirrorless camera systems. Some are even smaller, and so they've got an even bigger multiplication factor. So, look up what your camera is. If you've got a full frame camera, which in DSLR terms you'll kind of know, because you probably selected it for that, and you'll be aware of that. It'll say FX or something on it. Or if you've got an old 35mm camera and you're using that, then obviously just stick to what it says on the lens. But very simply, so with this one, you would dial that. If that's zoomed in all the way to 200, that really means 300, and so you're going to be using the nearest setting on the dial, which is 320th of a second. If you had a 100mm lens, then you'd set it to 100th of a second, and so on. So it's very simple and straightforward. That's it. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. There will be plenty more videos like this where that came from, and check out some of the other stuff on other topics that I've already done. Thanks for watching. Cheers.